Hello and welcome. We are going to be taking a look inside the cells. Now, we spent some time with microscopes. We looked at wee beasties, paramecium, and euglenas, and daphnias, and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So now we're going to take a look at what's inside the cells, okay? There's these little things called organelles. Now, just like your body has a whole bunch of organs inside of it, cells have organelles. Your organs do specific functions, like your spleen. Your spleen does more than just give you side aches. It actually filters out your blood, gets rid of all those red blood cells that are bad. Your liver filters out your blood, gets rid of toxins, stuff like that. So you have organs, and cells have organs as well. They're little structures. They carry out different functions in the cell. Okay, we're going to start with the cell membrane. Now I got two pictures here. One picture, it's kind of an animation type thing, artist drawing, and you can see the cell membrane. It's this yellow thing going all the way around it. Then down here, for all these slides, I have what it actually looks like in a cell, what it actually just looks like, and this would be an electron microscope that made this picture right here. Okay, now what does the cell membrane do? It really has two functions. It holds the cell together, but one of the most important things about it is it controls what goes into and what comes out of the cell. It's the gatekeeper. Okay, anything that's going to come into the cell has to go through the cell membrane. We're going to learn later on that there's little proteins in here, little transport proteins, stuff like that, that really help it along. But this really seals up the cell and it controls what comes in or out of the cell. I kind of think of it a little bit like a plastic bag. Okay? All right, so that is the cell membrane. Next thing I want to take a look at is the mitochondria. Okay? Now, the mitochondria on this picture right here, these guys are the mitochondria. That's the outside of it. That's the outside of it. Now they're showing them cut in half. There's an inner and an outer membrane. Okay. Now what they do, the big long word for what they do, is called cellular respiration. Now that's just a big word for it takes in sugars and it makes energy. Okay. You have a lot of these mitochondria in most of the cells in your body. Now, some of the cells in your body, like your muscle cells, they're going to have more mitochondria because they're going to need more energy. Mitochondria is often called the powerhouse of the cell because it makes all the energy. A little side note is that actually mitochondria are really connected to aging. One of the things about aging is the mitochondria get less and less efficient, and they're not as good at converting sugar into energy, and that can really that's really important in the aging process. So once again, that's the mitochondria. Down here in this picture, I'm looking for it. I can't move it around, but this, I believe, I'll have to double check, but I believe that is the mitochondria right there. Okay? It's not this big thing. That is the Golgi body, or sometimes called Golgi apparatus. All right? Cool. So endoplasmic reticulum. A lot of times we're just going to abbreviate it. ER. In this case, ER does not stand for emergency room. It stands for the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay? Now, where is maybe this is the endoplasmic reticulum here. Okay, on the cell. If it is, then this must be the nucleus. Okay? On this picture, on the artist's drawing of it, these guys right here, now keep in mind this is all cut in half, but this whole thing right here would be the the endoplasmic reticulum right there. Okay? Now, what does it do? It makes sacs. Okay? It makes little sacs to carry proteins from one part of the cell to another. Now, it's really important to remember that proteins are so important in your body. If you look at your body, you are made of a lot of proteins. Okay? Now, where those proteins, how they're made and where they go is extremely important to the cell. So, the endoplasmic reticulum, alrighty, it's attached to the nucleus. It's this hanging off the nucleus. Looks a lot like the Golgi body. Here's the endoplasmic reticulum. Here's the Golgi body. Okay. And really, what does it do? It makes sacs to carry proteins around. These little black dots, we're going to see them in a minute. Those are ribosomes. They make the proteins. Now, what the endoplasmic reticulum is going to do is, say a protein gets made right there. It's just going to go blah, and it's just going to surround it, just envelop it, and then it can carry it wherever it needs to go. Okay? All right, so ribosomes, we touched on these real quickly already. The ribosomes, they are these little black dots here, okay? They're all over the place. A lot of them are on the endoplasmic reticulum, but you do have some free-floating ribosomes around here as well, okay? Now, what is their job? They actually make the proteins. They make the proteins that's needed by the cell, okay? When they're directed to DNA, and we're gonna dig deeper into this later on, but DNA makes RNA. RNA goes to the ribosomes, and the ribosomes actually make the proteins. Now, it makes so much sense for the endoplasmic reticulum to package those proteins as they're made, because a lot of the ribosomes are stuck right onto the ER, or the endoplasmic reticulum. And finally, I think this is the last one for this video. We're about halfway through the cell, but we got the Golgi body. Sometimes it's called the Golgi apparatus, but most of the time it's called the Golgi body, okay? Now, this thing also, it's a bunch of sacs, okay? And it looks almost just like the endoplasmic reticulum. Here we can see it in a cell as well, all these flattened sacs. Now, you got to remember, this is cut through in cross section. But, so you have all these guys, okay? And what does it do? It also makes sacs and carries the proteins around, okay? But I would like you to add this on the side in your notes. It also activates proteins. Okay, it activates the proteins. When a protein's made, it's not active. It doesn't do what it's actually made to do. Once it gets activated, then it'll actually do it. We're going to talk about this later, but like enzymes. Enzymes are proteins that break down stuff. Well, when it's first made by the ribosomes, it's not going to be breaking anything down. It's after it comes from the ribosome. A lot of times it's packaged by the endoplasmic reticulum, goes into the Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus is going to activate it. After that, the enzyme or the protein will do what it actually needs to be able to do. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Hope this is helpful.